This here's my little river pour demo piece. The depth of that is approximately 25 millimeters deep. I gouged it out with a router, then I cleaned it up with a sanding disc on a drill, cleaned up the edges, then filled it in a couple of goes. There's pebbles in the bottom, a bit of blue tint and a bit of pearl in with it, and it's come up looking pretty good. But this piece of timber has come up absolutely magnificent. The only problem I didn't sand all the pearl out here. Look how it stands out. Oh well, I might sand that off and have another go at it. And that's what's good about this. If you don't like it, just sand it off and start again. Not the end of the world. Yeah, you'll get there eventually. So what I'm going to do now, before I did the pour on top and I'll let it run down over the sides, I put duct tape on the back. You can use masking tape or duct tape, it's not critical. A lot of the time I use masking tape because, especially with the boat coat, because it doesn't stretch like the duct tape. Unless you're careful with the duct tape, it stretches, then it takes quite a bit of effort to get it off. Or sorry, it tends to shrink back, and then that creates problems and it'll pull back on the edges and not going to stick. I knew it'd stick really well to this surface, so that's why I used it here. Beautiful little piece of timber. So the next step with this is to get the knife and just run around the edge so I can cut back and make sure I haven't got epoxy building up on the edge. So just very shallow angle on the knife and just draw it along, and we'll cut that edge. Just there'll be a little bit of epoxy sitting right on the edge there. So cut the edge away, and that's what I'm doing here. Doesn't hurt if you cut through the duct tape, won't hurt. And then once I get that done, I'll be able to peel the duct tape off very easy. So I'll go around, peel this back, or cut it back, and then I'll be back to show you more. Okay, I've cut right around the edge on this fella. You'll actually see here, this is how much the resin will move in. It'll work its way in. And the darn stuff has worked in and run along the sides here. Look at it. It's very fluid. See how it had worked in from this edge, run right along there and right along there. Interesting stuff. Very bloody hygroscopic, I think they call it. So see how that peeled off even with the epoxy on it? And then we'll peel this one now. See how easy as it peels back. Occasionally you'll have the tape stay and you might have to do a little bit of cleanup. But whoops, yeah, she's starting to come. So pull back this way now and see if you can pick up this edge. I'll just dig my nail in here. Oh no, it's actually epoxy. Oh, there's a bit there. That's alright, I'll come back and cut that off. That's nothing difficult. See, we've got quite a bit of Lucy Clear still on this piece, that's why it's given us a bit of a grief. Plus it's a rounded edge. So, oh, it's all the tape come away. So that's pretty good. I'll still give it a bit of a clean up, but so we get rid of the lip. This saves so much trouble. Again, see how it run in underneath? Oh, it's a bugger of a stuff. You gotta damn this darn stuff, it'll run in everywhere. So if you want to fix any cracks or that, use the Lucy Clear. It's so hygroscopic, it'll run in anywhere. It's amazing. Look at that, that's so much better than dags hanging around the bottom. Yeah, and then you've got to sand the darn things off. Then you've got to finish your bottom. Whereas this way, we can leave this just epoxied. How's that? Look at that. We've got a little bit here, but yeah, because it's underneath, I'm not too worried. If you get the knife very flat, because we've got a shiny surface underneath it, it won't want to stick to it very well. Voila! We're done. Isn't that a beautiful piece of timber? There's our U-butte surface on top. Hello. We've got a bit of stuff we cut off. Be careful, it's still a bit green. And it will stick to it, believe it or not. So be very careful, don't leave it sit there, or you might end up with it stuck to it. Because This is still touchy, and that's why I sat on a towel to work on it. Right. Don't sit it straight on your bench. You'll end up with a scratch, sticky mess.